Communist victory in the Civil War, the Nationalist Party, the Kuomintang, fled to Taiwan under the leadership of Chiang Kai-shek. The Chinese mainland and the region of Taiwan would be cut off from each other for decades to come. The US continued to recognize the nationalist government as the sole representative of China, and the region of Taiwan occupied China's United Nations seat in the General Assembly and on the Security Council. But in 1971, the United Nations recognized the Chinese Communist Party as the sole legitimate government, and the People's Republic took over that UN seat. US President Nixon's visit in 1972 also started a process that became known as the One China policy, with the US and the vast majority of the global community recognizing the government in Beijing. In 1975, nationalist leader Chiang Kai-shek died, and deep political divisions in the region of Taiwan led to much unrest. The US, while recognizing the People's Republic as the sovereign political leader of China, however, continued to support the region of Taiwan militarily with arms sales and support. In 1987, Taiwan residents were actually permitted to visit their families on the mainland. That led to many emotional scenes. And then a political breakthrough in 1992, known as the Consensus on the One China Principle, was achieved by the work of the mainland-based Association for Relations Across the Taiwan Straits and the Straits Exchange Foundation, based in Taiwan. The two organizations agreed that both would adhere to one indivisible China in principle, without talking about the political meaning of how both saw the One China policy in practice. That led to the landmark Wangu Summit, named after leaders of the talks, representing the Chinese mainland and the Taiwan region, meeting for the first time. They would do so again in 1998. But the election of Chen Shui-bian in Taipei in 2000 led to the end of Kuomintang power in Taiwan for the first time in 50 years and soured the political mood. He was suspected of being pro-independence by both Beijing and sometimes Washington. The US pushed forward with sales of submarines, warships and anti-submarine aircraft, and Washington pledged to side with Taipei if war broke out in China. Taipei also tested Patriot missiles supplied by Washington. China tested its defenses too. In 2003, though, the first commercial flight in 50 years from Shanghai to Taipei took place, although via Hong Kong. Again, however, relations were tense, with an independence referendum proposal floated by the region of Taiwan and China refusing to rule out reunification by force. And after the election of the Kuomintang back into power in 2008 and the ascension of the current leader Ma Ying-jeou, tensions began to ease. More visits of KMT leaders to the Chinese mainland also eased tensions, including meetings with then-President Hu Jintao in 2008 and in 2013 with now President Xi Jinping. And of course, cross-strait trade began to really take off after that 1992 consensus has increased substantially over the years. In 2014, trade between the two sides reached nearly $200 billion, 198 to be precise. All, of course, leading up to this historic meeting set to get underway in Singapore in the coming hours. As quite incredible to see history being made after all that history.
Yes, absolutely, and you'll be watching it all for us. Nathan King, thank you.